Priming the pump. Some of our life lessons are not always as obvious to us at certain ages as others. There was an aha moment when I was talking with Jonathan Milligan from Blogging Your Passion about my blog's progress. A moment and remark made in that conversation reminded me of a story. My grandmother's house was old and well loved. The only running water that went to the house was in the kitchen. It was fed from the spring house that was quite a ways from the house. The water came from an old-fashioned pump and pump handle in the kitchen that was set on a very large kitchen basin. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't they have running water brought by an automatic pump or from city water that we so take for granted these days? The answer to that question is the farm was way out in the middle of nowhere, and they had yet to sink a well and install a regular pump. That would eventually come later. What this meant for the household was we used an outhouse. All cleaning, bathing, and washing up was done in the kitchen. For a 4-year-old, that was pretty cool. I loved watching my grandmother use the pump for water. The sound of the grinding and gurgling away was really fun for a kid my size. I remember asking my grandmother why she had to always pump to get water. We didn't have to do that in my house. She would tell me that's how she was able to get the water to come up the pipe to the house. Every now and then she would become a bit frustrated, saying she had let the pump lose its prime. She would yell for my grandpa or one of my uncles to help her prime the pump so the water would flow freely again. I would watch in fascination as my grandpa would pump and pump and pump and pour water down the pump pipe and then pump and pump again. It was really hard work and took a while to get the water to flow. As a kid, this didn't make any sense to me. Why didn't the water just come up when you pumped the handle? The biggest puzzle was, why did you have to pour water down the pipe to get the water to come back up? I would cock my head to the side and just watch as all the work ensued. It always took a while and much hard work to get the water to come. The water started with a trickle, then it would flow full and heavy. When that happened, it was always a celebration. Like any 4-year-old, I was full of these why questions. What was priming? How did you lose it? Why was it so hard? Why did you pour water down to make it come back up? Why didn't the tadpoles come up with the water? On and on the why questions would go. My grandma listened, and then she would do her best to explain. This is what she said. Priming is the work it takes to get the water to come up the pipe to the kitchen. Sometimes you need to pour water down to encourage the other water to move up the pipe. You lose your prime when you don't pump very often. There is a screen on the end of the pipe at the other end to keep the tadpoles in their spring house home. My grandma's answers satisfied my questions. All I said in response was, "Oh," and went off to play. It was many years later when I finally understood why all that worked. As it was with the farmhouse pump, so it is with life and business. It takes a lot of work and personal resources, pumping and water, to get your business project or relationship going. Once the business or relationship is successful, flowing water, it's easier to keep it going. However, it takes regular attention, regular pumping, to keep it going. The last thing is, it's important to put the proper processes or practices in place, screen for tadpoles, to ensure you prevent any unexpected issues. So here I am, busily priming the pump for my blog and business. I know that if I keep learning and working on all I need to do, the business, like the water, will come. How about you? Are you priming your pump?